Have you ever thought about how strange it is that we all know what an apple means? Not an apple a day keeps the doctor away. The asterisk, other asterisk meaning, the one in paintings, in cartoons, in metaphors. The fruit that was never even called an apple in the first place. The original forbidden thing. The story of the first choice, in Genesis, isn't really about fruit. It's about freedom, and the terrifying cost of having it. Imagine perfection. Not the Instagram filter kind, but real, deep perfection. A world where you're not hungry, not lonely, not bored. You walk in a garden in the cool of the day with the voice that spoke stars into being. You have one job, tend this beauty, and one boundary, don't eat from that tree. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now, knowledge is good, right? We spend our lives chasing it. But this was different. This was experiential knowledge. It wasn't about knowing asterisk about asterisk evil, but knowing evil by asterisk doing asterisk it, by breaking trust. And that's when the serpent shows up. The great what if machine. It didn't start with a command. It started with a question, twisting God's words. Did God really say? The first tactic, make God seem less good, make his boundaries seem restrictive, a power play. He's holding out on you. You could be asterisk like asterisk him. Isn't that still the core of every temptation? The whisper that the good giver is actually withholding our true good, that our real freedom is found to asterisk outside asterisk his design. So, Eve looked at the tree, really looked, and for the first time, the perfection all around her felt. Less than the fruit was good for food, pleasing to the eye, and desirable for gaining wisdom. The physical appetite, the aesthetic craving, the intellectual pride. Has anything really changed? She took it. She ate. She gave it to Adam, who was right there with her. Passive, complicit. He chose solidarity with her, and with the rebellion. Then, their eyes opened, but not to enlightenment, to shame. They didn't see divinity. They saw their own nakedness, their vulnerability, and they hid. The first human reaction to sin wasn't pride, it was terror. They started sewing fig leaves, their first pathetic attempt at self-salvation, trying to cover what they had broken. And then, the voice in the garden. Where are you? This wasn't the question of an angry policeman. It was the question of a grieving parent. The relationship was fractured, and the consequences unfolded like a slow-motion avalanche, blame-shifting pain, toil, struggle, and exile. The biggest loss wasn't the garden itself. It was the unhindered presence. They chose a piece of fruit over the face of God, and we've been trying to fill that God-shaped void with everything under the sun ever since. We call it the fall, but it was a deliberate step away from trust and into an autonomy defined by distrust. But even right there, in the curse, there's a whisper of grace, a promise. God tells the serpent that one will come from the woman, seed, human who will crush the serpent's head. It's the first gospel, spoken in a graveyard of broken trust. So what are the lessons from this first choice? First, temptation doesn't start with some big, obvious evil. It starts with a subtle lie about God's character. Is he good? Can he be trusted? Second, every choice we make is relational. It either builds trust or breaks it. That choice didn't just affect one person. It broke a world. Third, with freedom comes massive responsibility. We're free to choose, but we're not free from the consequences. Fourth, shame's instinct is to hide. Grace's first move is to seek. Where are you? And fifth, even in the wreckage of our worst choices, a thread of redemption is always being woven. The story isn't over. We are all Adam. We are all Eve. We've all stood at our own tree, listened to our own serpent, and believed the lie that God is holding out on us. We've all taken the fruit. The real question is, what do we do asterisk after asterisk we've eaten? Do we stay in the shadows, trying to cover up our own mess? Or do we answer the voice that calls us out of hiding and step into the costly, painful, glorious promise of a restored relationship? The first choice brought the night, but the story whispers of a dawn. The choice now is whether we will walk toward it. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more videos exploring these big questions of faith and life. See you next time.